and it was fun to watch. I mean, he was both playing with guys physically and mentally. He was like in their dome, calling DBs and stuff babies after he just embarrassed them.
He won the MVP that year, right?
Yeah, he won the MVP that year.
Yeah.
Welcome to episode 31 of the Harvester Sports Podcast. I'm Noah.
I'm Austin.
And today we are joined by a very special guest, longtime Panthers center, 5-time Pro Bowler, Ryan Kalil.
Look at that, man.
Thank you for joining us.
Look at that. He knew so much about you.
5 times more than I went to the Pro Bowl. So.
And we've also
That's a great Wikipedia search. So, good job, dude.
We've also got
super good.
Close friend of the podcast. Anything else you want to flex about?
Close friend? That's how you reference me?
This is my dad.
Why don't you just say that?
Friend of the podcast.
Father.
What's wrong with the patriarchy?
That's okay.
Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, we had our boy DCA back, and then finally, after a long time,
Tyler.
we can see him. Swaggy T's back, and a little special cameo by Poopa Trooper.
Wait, who's that?
Swaggy T.
Swaggy T?
That's
what you go by now?
I was given.
Who gave you that name?
Himself. No,
wait a minute.
Self-proclaimed Swaggy T.
Yeah, self-proclaimed for sure.
That's not true.
That's true.
I went onto my Xbox account one day, and my name happened to be.
That's
Swaggy
right. That
T.
did happen because it was Wolfhood before that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Usually on the podcast when we are interviewing former players and stuff, we ask about their college experience first. So how was it like at USC? How was that for you?
Pretty special, actually.
Mm-hmm.
We won a lot of games. We had a couple Heisman Trophy winners. We're on the national stage.
Okay, let's be real.
It's a lot like Fresno State's.
Thank you. It's very similar to your father's college experience. That's all I was hoping to get to.
It's very similar.
Although,
SC was. I came in right at the right time. I mean, I got really lucky when Pete Carroll came in and that whole program was turning over from, some of the lackluster years they had in the 90s.
What do you think it was? Why do you think that it just turned around and completely went the other direction?
I think it was a combination of a lot of things. I think SC still, in the recruiting world meant something because of its storied history. Mm-hmm. They had some players up and coming. Pete was the right guy that helped take them into the next era. And he did a good job in the staff that he brought in and also the balance of recruits he brought. It was a lot of blue-collar guys and still like some 5-star
That's a good
name guys. I wasn't part of that list. I was scratching at the door trying to get in. Pete took a flyer on me after Ed Ogeron and Tim Davis and Coach Palomalu all sort of.
What a great staff!
Yeah, it was a great staff.
Wow.
It was a great staff. They sort of vouched for me and thought I'd be a great addition to the team. When I signed there. The year before, they had just lost to Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl.
We played in the Las Vegas Bowl, actually, and I played against Utah in the Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, did you get a free Xbox? That was like a big thing.
I think so.
That was like a big thing.
I remember
I just remember the guys all bragging about.
Yeah, never got
free
it.
Xbox.
Swag was amazing.
And
you guys got a lot more free things after that at SC, though.
What's that?
There's a couple things that you
that
got.
I did?
No, I didn't mean that out loud. There's some things that happened.
Yeah.
Some people.
Did Reggie get his Heisman back yet? I don't follow it. Does he deserve it?
We're going right into that.
I just want to know if he should get it back. It's my personal opinion. He should have it.
Can I finish talking about how great SC was, though? That last year, or the year that I signed was Carson Palmer's last year, and they had gone to the Orange Bowl, and Carson won the Heisman, obviously, and that helped immensely in recruiting. And then, we added a ton more top classes.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so was Carson's last year? Was that right around?
That was my senior year of high school.
Okay, got it. So was Pete there already?
Pete was there 1 year or 2 years.
Okay,
1 or 2 years.
So that was probably huge.
And people forget Pete was like a 6th choice for SC.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he wasn't their top pick.
Where's Pete from? Like, where was he? I know he was in the NFL, obviously.
He was in the
but
NFL.
was he from this area?
Jets, and Patriots.
Right.
No, I don't think he is.
So he's not like a local.
No.
Okay. So yeah, he was down the list.
Yeah, who's down the list?
It worked out
And I
pretty
had
good.
a funny Kalil family connection. My dad played at University of Arkansas when Lou Holtz was the head coach there, and Pete Carroll was a GA there.
Darren wanted to play for Lou Holtz bad when he was
Really?
in South Carolina. He still talks about that. My brother, he loves Lou Holtz.
Yeah, my dad did not like Lou Holtz.
He didn't like him?
No, he did not.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
So much so he transferred to University of Arizona after
just
his
to get away
freshman
from him.
year. Yeah. I don't think there's anything like personal about Lou. I think he was just upset about his playing time.
Yeah, it happens. It's part of it.
And
So can we get back to the Reggie Bush thing, or do you want to skip it? We can.
no,
skip
we can
it.
go right into
I just
it.
think-
What do you want to talk about?
I think he deserves a Heisman Trophy. I don't know like the politics behind all of it.
I don't know if he gave his Heisman back. I'm not sure. I
Oh,
know they
good.
took it from the school.
Oh, so he still has his then. That's
think
all
he
I care.
has
That's all I care
his.
about is that he has.
Yeah, what would
his.
they have to do to?
Wait,
come
what
to
are they
your
going
house
to do? Are they
and
going
take
to come
the
in? I always
Still
wondered
right.
Yeah,
that. Like,
even if you take the name away, as long as
Okay.
you still physically.
we're going to take away
Have
your
a Heisman
Oscar.
Trophy.
It's like, okay, do they come to your door? Like, I don't know how that. Now that you're in the Hollywood
You're
thing.
talking about Will Smith? No, he got to keep his.
Oh, you got to
Oscar.
keep it. So
Yeah.
they didn't take that from him.
No,
Now, did they say they took it?
no, they
No.
banned him for 10 years.
So what happens there? So now, like, what happens? So does he make a movie, but doesn't make a movie until like year 9 from now? So
No, he's
he
not
gets-
banned from making movies. He's banned from being in the being a member of the academy.
What's the point of making movies if you don't win awards for them?
Just the love of the game.
I don't
Love
know.
of the game.
Money.
So he can still make money.
He can still make money. Yeah.
So he's fine.
Yeah. So just like Reggie, because Reggie could still make money after they took
Great
his Heisman
parallel.
away unfairly.
Right. Yeah, I agree unfairly. I agree.
100% unfairly.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me. And now look at what's happening with the kids can get paid and they can make all the money they want. Like there's no
They
difference.
can get more than Xboxes.
exactly.
More than free
That's all we
Xboxes.
got. But anyway.
Well, USC just recently started.
Wait, hold on. Was that what did you get that was free?
I watched
That
that
Fresno
was all I ever got.
We can start pulling your name
I
down.
watched a lot of windows that didn't exist.
Hold on, but can we go
That
back to the
didn't
Reggie
exist.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wherever you land on the fence in terms of what he got or didn't get.
Yeah, I don't care actually.
I love
but-
Reggie Bush. He's one of my all-time favorite
Same.
teammates.
I worked with him at the network for a little bit. He
All
was
defend
there
him
for a
to
little
the
bit.
very end
Same.
and all that.
Even
BS
though the
that
Texans
went
didn't
down.
pick him, they decided that there was a better
Yeah, it is.
player that we didn't
Yeah,
need.
we don't want to rehash this. I know
I'm not going to
very
bring it up
hurt
again.
about
Did you
that.
guys have Reggie Bush jerseys on at the draft? Yeah, you did actually
Oh,
have a
did I?
picture of you in a Reggie Bush jersey the night before the draft, but it's fine. Good.
But regardless of whatever the outcome of the Reggie thing was, which was BS anyways, the death penalty, you think SC should have got the death penalty?
No, I don't.
So, I mean, look, I think it's relevant because we're still trying to get out of it. I mean, it was 5 years of lost scholarships SC had. My brother came after me. You know, every family holiday, he was very bitter and telling me and my class, thank you for not allowing him to play in a bowl game ever.
Right.
And it's hard to play catch up. All of a sudden, the SEC starts taking all those recruits. Like, do you want to go play in Alabama or do you want to help SC rebuild
Yeah.
from, you know,
Right. It's not a level playing
from
field.
the
It's not
tomb?
fair.
It's not. So they've still been playing catch up. And I think, obviously, having Lincoln Riley there now,
Which
is already, I mean, just on paper, has already given us one of the best classes we've had in a long time.
Look, man, I tell these guys, and now look, I may have overshot. So I say I only watch one college team on Saturdays, but I obviously watch the Fresno State games.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but the only other game that I'm watching was Oklahoma because I just loved watching his offense. And now that offensive system is leaked into the NFL. We've seen it everywhere. Obviously, they're running it a couple different places, and those schemes, and it's kind of been around for a while, but it's always been like there was some weird and you know how this works in the NFL with coaches. They're almost like, oh no, we're gonna do it this way. We've always done it. I'm like, there's so many better concepts that you could run. There's so many better ways to move the football down the field. Why don't we just utilize them? It's simple math sometimes, even with utilizing the quarterback in the run game. That's almost like as simple as it gets with Lincoln. He just utilizes the quarterback. He uses the number system. It's like we sat there. How many times have you sat in the meeting room and we're trying to figure out how to get that eighth guy out of the box because the quarterback's there and hand the ball off and has the best seat in the house because he just watches the running back around. It's like, why don't we use that somehow? And back in the day, Mike Shanahan and Kyle Shanahan, those guys all started doing it with bootlegs and moving the pocket and kind of controlling the backside. Well, Lincoln is just kind of taking that to the next level. So I'm pumped for you, man. I'm excited to watch USC, honestly. I might throw up a couple. What do you guys do?
V for victory.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's a victory thing. That's cool. That's great.
I'm
surrounded
it's not
by
a peace sign.
Well, I didn't know what it was. It was like peace. We kind of broke some rules and maybe we stole some games from other people, but we have peace, man. We don't want to.
He's just taking shots.
I already told him how I feel about SC.
It's fine.
I love SC. They're my second favorite
He
team.
comes into your house as a friend and then he sits down and instantly.
He knows I love the Trojans.
I'm used to haters. I don't make it easy. I don't make it easy on my haters.
So tell these guys, because I tell my side of the story. When you came to Carolina the 1 year that I was there, your rookie year, were you on your way to getting cut and not having an NFL career at all because you couldn't snap the ball correctly? Or were you already an all-pro? Were you already dialed in and you knew everything and you didn't need to hear anything from an old man? What's the real story?
I didn't know how to snap the ball. But can we be specific though? Can we be specific? I didn't know how to shotgun snap.
Exactly. And in
But we
your
didn't do
defense,
it.
you didn't
We
do
didn't
it.
do it at SC.
No one ever did it. The first time this guy shotgun snaps to me, comes at me 400 miles an hour. Now it's a good snap. I'm like, he's got some long snapping ability maybe, right? Perfect spiral right at my neck.
He couldn't long snap either. That's
Okay. So I go,
It sounds like maybe you couldn't catch the snap.
well, that was look. Here's the problem.
Maybe it was on you.
I came from the Houston Texans, which I don't know if you know this, Noah, because I was under a lot of duress.
The ball coming at you quicker could get the play going.
That's actually
Help
true.
Helping Houston, actually.
The problem was I had to know where my guys were going to be before we even snapped the ball because I had a limited amount of time. So I learned that the best shotgun snap came back at you like a dove and landed in your hand where you didn't even have to look at it, right? And so I remember telling Ryan that, and it was like you're pretty good at what you do, man, because it was like you figured it out. And then the ball was floating back there, and then 5-time All-Pro.
Yeah, well,
Right there.
but then so I got that down, and that was great advice, and that helped out a lot.
It was a little thing.
But then we drafted Cam, and we started running all this read option
That's
stuff
right.
that I'd never done before.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I was like having to snap and
And what did
move on
Cam
the fly.
do anything to help you?
Well, his arms are like he's
Oh.
got the wingspan.
So now he's
of
going to
an
bring up the
airplane.
physical traits that Cam possesses
Well,
that
I
I
just
did not
saying,
have.
he saved my ass a bunch. I mean,
Yeah,
there's a
that's
lot
true.
of wild snaps in my career that he would like stretch Armstrong like grab
Right.
that T-Rex arms.
Okay,
couldn't get.
well, look,
So-
man, we're not all blessed with
we
6'5".
tried so hard to find one specific play because we were like looking at good things to talk about. We found one call where it said that it was like something like the ball went, or Ryan had a 20-yard fumble recovery.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so we were trying to find.
Oh, was this the Tampa game?
It was something with both of you, so we're trying to find a win and match.
Snap it over my head?
Probably.
I don't remember. I don't remember if you did or
We were
not.
trying so hard to find.
Well,
that
but it was
clip.
in the
If
stats.
I snapped over his head, I didn't recover
Well,
it.
no,
There's
it
no
said-
way.
It said,
Yeah, how slow am I? If he recovered.
If I snapped it over his head, turned around.
No. Snapped it over his head. Then did he instantly realize that he snapped it
That's
over
what I'm
his
saying.
head?
How bad of a snap
it
was
said
like?
you
How
had
do you
a
go now?
fumble recovery.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I don't know what the situation
If that
was.
happened, it was probably a short snap. It probably wasn't a gun snap. It was probably I short armed
yeah.
it, or he came out too fast, or
Yeah.
a little bit of both.
Again, back to the T-Rex arms for
A
some
little bit
reason.
of both.
Anyway, so I'm just glad that we're able to clear that up because when I tell them that I'm basically the reason for what we sit in, which is beautiful, by the way. Your house is beautiful.
Oh, he's trying to get himself back in favor.
I just-
some schmoozing, some
Yeah,
compliments.
I mean, it's just really nice though. So the transition. Do you guys want to ask any questions? I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm hogging it.
Yeah, what
I-
is podcasting?
I-
It's just I love talking to this
I've
I
got
guy.
kept looking at
questions,
Thai
but-
cheese and I was like, this is good enough.
So when you didn't have DC at
Right.
quarterback, adjusting to Cam, what was that adjustment like? Because obviously a very extremely mobile quarterback. Does that make it easier on a center, or does that kind of just complicate things or make it different? How did that work?
A little bit of both. I mean, I'd never been in that offensive system before. He had, so it was us watching a lot of Auburn tape and seeing how they did the techniques, how they, especially that center. That center was actually a good center, and he was on our team.
Oh, that's interesting.
So we signed him. He was a free agent, undrafted free agent. We signed him. So that was always weird because that was
You're
like
like,
Cam center.
I guess he's here to
but-
take
but
my spot.
Well, that wasn't going to happen. 'cause
Yeah, right.
When Cam came,
Oh.
when
No, he's
Cam
right.
came, I just signed a new deal. So that'd be
Oh, got you.
a dumb business
Yeah, it
model.
doesn't make a lot of sense.
bring in the undrafted guy and sign me.
So I didn't realize that they went right to the Auburn system. That you guys just went right into that. Like,
well, it was a hybrid. I mean, we were in Rob Jasinski's system,
but they tried to do as much as they could to make it the same.
I mean, I think what they did was, and smartly, was they played to Cam's strengths, and they started to introduce him things that were more traditional. He had never been in pro style offense before, and so. But he was very capable. He was very sharp. He was obviously very talented.
But he lit it up. I mean, he came in like.
And so they had a hybrid of it. I mean, it's funny. Like Cam, I'll never forget when we drafted him, or even leading up to the draft. It was a lot of the talk from the media guys.
Wasn't
were like
yet, Austin.
It was like they kept comparing him to running style quarterbacks only, and they didn't talk a lot about his passing. And I remember seeing randomly a highlight tape, and his passing was pretty impressive.
He could rip it.
Dude, he could rip it.
Yep.
And then he got into our system, and obviously the read option stuff came easy to him, but the passing game was something he was adamant about, wanting to not be held back and give it to me all. And,
love it.
And like, it's so funny. He was so put in a bubble in terms of like how they talked about him, but like everybody forgets he broke all of Manning's rookie records.
It was out of control.
It was nuts.
He was throwing for like 400 yards.
Yeah, he revitalized
couple
Steve
of games.
Smith's career. Steve would probably punch me if he heard me say that.
I mean, it's true though. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, he came in and you can say whatever you want about. I mean, it's smart to tailor the system to a guy that's coming out of college and try to. It's what they've tried to do in Arizona with Kyler Murray. They've made the same system, easy transition. He can play at a high level quickly. Can play at a super high level quickly.
Pete Carroll was always good at that too. Pete always did a good job of adjusting the schemes based on the players' strengths on their team and their roster.
Yeah. So
and not every team does that.
No,
a lot of teams will say, "Here's our system. Here's what we run. You got to fit. If you're a round peg, you gotta.
Unless you're just a. I mean, I can't think of really a lot of systems that you would say, "Okay, I get it." Like maybe one or two, maybe elite coaches that you could just say, "All right, I got to figure it out," or maybe you shouldn't have brought me in as the player, right? Get a different player. But I feel like if you're not doing that, you're kind of missing the boat. Anyway.
There are some positions I do think you should be able to be fluid and do it all. Like there's schemes change. There's very basic things that.
But just in general, if you have a player and you bring a guy in, unless I guess
if you have a guy who has a really specific skill set, then you gotta utilize it. Especially if you're drafting him that high and making him a franchise player.
Now I get it if it's like a guy that is there and now you come in as a new coaching staff. Now it's like, okay, do we try and tailor our system? I mean, I was brought in as a head coach to run the certain system. Do I make these guys fit my system, or I just get rid of them and get new guys, which is usually what happens.
But Ron Rivera did that.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The defense he ran in San Diego.
That's right.
I mean, he was a top 1-2 defense for years, and he came to Carolina, and we didn't run a 3-4 defense.
It's pretty good by Ron.
He changed his scheme based on, but Ron also. Has done it all too. But he built that defense around the strengths of pieces that we already had.
Yeah, he's not a good coach.
But
I like it.
So what is this podcast?
I don't even know. It's just a football thing that they want to do.
Cheese and listen to you guys talk, man.
So where's the John Wayne thing from? Like, where does that? Did you pick out all these pieces of art yourself? Yes.
It's from Montana. It's from an art gallery in Montana.
So all these pieces of art. Obviously, we know a lot of them in here. So, why did you get into movies? I guess that's my question. Like, because we all like movies, but why have you always been like?
Instead of
even when you were playing football,
analysis,
why aren't you at the NFL Network with me? I don't understand.
I wanted more of a challenge.
Okay.
I just felt like
easy to go from a life of football to more football.
That's
than
true.
To go from football to movies.
Can you really challenge yourself? But that's good, Noah. That's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, you've known me long enough to know this is something I always wanted to do, and it started at a young age doing stop motion animation and thinking I was
Yeah.
going to do that for a living. And I also grew up with a football coach. So
It's hard, right? It's hard to balance that because you're like, football's fun. I like playing it, but I also enjoy this stuff too.
Yeah.
So I remember even like, so during the season, it's hard. NFL sucks sometimes. It's like it's a grind. This guy, and not so much his rookie year when I was there, but later on, he would send me and show me all these fun, cool things that he would do for the team to lift morale. And it was a lot of like creative things that I've never seen before. I've never seen players do it. Like players will get up and I don't even know if they'll even go anywhere near where he went. So what's the coolest thing that you've done that you're like, you know what, that was pretty sweet?
That I can talk about?
You can talk
That
about,
it's
yeah,
only
because there were
canceled?
there were a lot of things that you did that we won't even discuss, but were great for the team. Like, because I don't think you guys understand how sucky it is in the middle of the season, especially if you're not a team that's going to the playoffs, and you know that by Thanksgiving. You're like, okay, and not like you're in that position a lot, but I was. But it's hard, even when you are a playoff team. It's like it's hard to go through that grind. So to change it up, what was the coolest thing that you did, and kind of give them a glimpse of what I'm talking about?
We did. I don't know. You always hear about like hazing and rookie pranks and things like that, and I just enjoyed doing that kind of stuff. I just enjoyed, but not rookies. It was like I just enjoyed pranking everyone. Like no one was off limits. It kind of gave me
It's great.
It gave me an immunity in a way that I never imagined too, because
Like,
everybody was
like,
so scared to ever prank me back because they knew I would go like 10 times
I love that.
worse because my production value was
Because they're like, I can't match
that's off
that.
the charts. Yeah.
So that wasn't even like a retaliation thing that he did. He just did that out of the
Yeah, I mean,
kindness
we
of
did
his
all
heart.
kinds of stuff. We did music videos, making fun of guys who were hurt. We did animated shorts, making fun of positions that we did.
Was there anybody that was ever off limits? Like you were like, I can't. Or you thought about like I should do this, but I can't. I don't know if I should do it.
No, I don't think anything's off limits.
Did you ever hit it? You see how I said hit a coach? It's like it's a hitman.
Like,
Did you ever throw up a video of a coach or an owner or anybody?
Oh yeah, all the time.
I love that.
All the time.
Fearless. That's what you got to be.
Luke Kuechly, Greg Olsen, all those guys not safe, man.
Doesn't matter.
Not safe.
No one's safe. In fact, probably prime targets. The guys that were more in the limelight.
Yeah,
the bigger they are, the funnier it would be.
And the guys who got the most upset were the ones that you doubled down on.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that
you
was
go-
like the
yeah.
thing. It was like if you couldn't take a joke.
Yeah, well then we're coming back at
Yeah.
you because you deserve that.
But I was never into like hazing. Like I was never into messing with guys' equipment or their personal stuff.
That's too easy. That doesn't take any creativity.
Well, that and also I got hit pretty hard with that stuff by some.
see, I remember because first of all, like
let's get into this.
Let's talk about this. Well, that's why I wanted to talk about it.
Let's talk about
Let's
this.
lean forward.
Let's talk about how you sat by and watched this go down.
No,
go ahead.
Well, let me tell you what happens. There's a quarterback room and there's 3 people. Then there's an offensive line room and there's like 50 people, and they're all significantly larger than you are now. You look great, by the way.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, you too.
And they're angry and they sit in this dark room. And Joe Thomas was talking about this, like you guys are like mushrooms, right? Like they just kind of they throw you in the dark. He told me this the other day. I was like, he said on the show, he's like, we're like mushrooms. And then he didn't have time to like explain it. I'm like, Joe, what are you talking about? He's like, all they do is they throw you in a dark room, they throw some fertilizer on you, which is crap, and then they just expect you to grow. And then they open the door and they expect you to taste good. And I'm like, so that's what you are. But so there's a room full of mushrooms. And I don't know what's happening in that room. I'm busy with Jake Delhomme and all these other, he's talking about his horses. I don't know what he's doing. He said, we're supposed to be watching film. Jake's talking about his horses. I'm like, Jake, why don't you just retire? Just hang it up. You don't love football anymore. He's like, no, I love football, man. I'm like, no, you don't.
Who else was in your room? Vinny Testaverde?
For a little bit, Vinny was in, and then Christ.
Oh, remember how bad Vinny's eyes were?
Well, Vinny couldn't see very well, but he could still rip it.
Great.
No, he could rip it great.
But he was having.
No, but no joke.
He's like a blind force user, bro. He's a Jedi.
He was Vinny.
No, he really was like a Jedi. He was like playing quarterback.
Obi-Wan Kenobi in Tatooine.
Dude, he came in against Arizona and
Yes.
he sliced and diced them. But this is the same guy in the huddle who only we have armbands and like you have like 100 plays on it.
Yes.
And then like the writing is like that tiny. And so like your dad was in there
So-
and like he's got like 20 plays. And literally Vinny had like 6 plays. And they were like written out so big. And even those 6 plays, he was still like, all right, here we go. We got I write.
The best is John Fox brings us into the room, and I broke my back. You guys remember when I broke my back and I couldn't reach you to the ground?
Yeah, we would.
So I'm coming back, and I'm like, I'm ready. And Mike McCoy is like, our coach, he's like, you're not ready. Like, I'm trying to throw speed outs in practice. I'm bouncing him in the ground. I'm like, I'm ready. Vinny Testaverde is 45 years old. I'll play quarterback for you. It's fine. So we go to the meeting, and John Fox, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, he's gonna say Vinny's starting. I know it. And I'm sitting there, and John's like, Dave, you're not ready. We're gonna go with Vinny. And I remember Vinny's face. He's all, yeah. Like Vinny's like, I didn't come here to play quarterback, man. I came here.
Were you still messed up though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
my back was still jacked.
You were pretty jacked.
But I wanted to play because I was only there I was fine. Just shoot me up. It's fine.
Yeah.
Let's go play. It was back in the day. Like when you have little medicine in your little, that's what we used to take. Happens. Vinny was super not ready, but he played great. He did good.
Is Vinny the one that abused him? And
No. So anyway, back to my story.
No, I love Vinny Testaverde. I snapped him his last snap ever, FYI. Just a little fun fact.
Did? Really? I didn't know that.
In Tampa.
That's awesome. How'd that go?
No, I'll tell the story because
No,
he's going to sugarcoat it because he's going to somehow make himself a nice guy.
All I'm saying is I wasn't in the room. I wasn't there. I didn't see all the stuff that
You just
happened.
heard his cries down the hall.
He's a rookie. He was like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, you're a rookie.
Wait, hold up. This didn't happen in the O-line room. This
But
happened all over.
See? I didn't even know. I wasn't even there.
He was just conveniently not
Was
there.
I ever
every
involved?
time.
No, you knew.
I'm sorry that they made you bring candy
You knew.
and sodas.
He ordered
It's more than that.
Hey, he ordered the code
You
red.
stop right now. You stop.
Did you
right
order the
now.
code red?
Yeah, he ordered the code
You
red.
did.
You think that I said idly by and let that happen?
You did.
What did I witness that I allowed?
All of it. All of it.
You know what happened? I'm gonna be real. You can edit this out if you want to, but this guy
keep it all in. I don't want any of it.
This guy was
out.
brought in, right?
Uh-huh.
And he was a freaking good center, right? He couldn't snap for nothing, but I fixed that.
It's shotgun.
I fixed it.
Okay? Shotgun snap.
When I fixed it, they were like, he's going to be all pro. He was quicker than everybody. He could get to the Mike freaking linebacker. Get to the Mike linebacker outside the tight end. Ryan's there, waiting for the running back. And they're like, are you kidding me? And then the other center was a little upset. He's losing his job to the young guy. So
Well,
what
he
did
was
do?
also, in his defense, he was coming off a pretty bad hip injury.
Okay, I don't care. He was angry. He
But-
was angry that you were.
Look at this, he was a dick to me, and I'm still defending him.
No, don't defend him. He doesn't.
I got
He doesn't
Stockholm
deserve to be
syndrome
defended.
with the
No,
guy.
it's fine. He doesn't deserve to be defended. You can Google his name. We won't say it. You can say it if you want to.
Justin Hartwig.
Justin Hartwig. Justin Hartwig was just angry that Ryan was a better center.
I have no
But it
love for
happens.
Justin Hartwig, but
But
he
it
was hard
happens.
on me.
But that does happen at every
I
position.
also think, again, in
You
his
could have handled it
defense,
differently.
he was abused pretty good by those guys in Tennessee. They
No,
had
I
a
agree.
system of like really beating those guys down.
Yeah, it's
and
a
depending
stupid
on
system.
like how you feel about that, I mean, it does tell you a lot about somebody
Yeah.
if they can get through it or not. Because I think the validity behind it is, you're asked a lot of your teammates in an NFL season.
Yeah.
And if they can overcome a little bit of hazing, if they can overcome
No, I get
a
that
little
part
bit of
of it.
grinding, then there's somebody that you can trust when times get tough.
I get that part of it.
But I do think there's a different way to carve that tree
Well,
up.
that's what's so cool.
That's the only
is-
thing I would say is like it doesn't always have to be. It's
Yeah.
not. There's not one way to skin a cat there. So I was fine with rookie duties. I was fine getting candy for the room and getting drinks and doing
Which is the extent
these-
of what I saw.
these tasks. There's like standard tasks that the
Yeah.
rookies are in charge of
Mhm.
that I have no problem doing.
Yes.
What I had a problem with is trying to learn an NFL playbook, and I got to drive 20 miles to go get a special kind of grape soda that they don't sell down the street.
First of all, you
And
shouldn't
now,
be drinking
and then
grape
that
soda.
place doesn't have it. And I got to go to another place, and then when I can't get it in time, I'm getting fined like $500.
Right.
In those days, we had a whole fine system for
Oh, yeah.
offensive line, and I think that one was $500 for being a bitch fine.
And that,
I think it's the fine I got. What? Am I allowed to say that?
and that was why.
Is that okay?
And that was.
All right.
And that was why you took it upon yourself, being the bigger man, and changed that way of seeing if people could take that stuff. So you decided, and you didn't even know that you did this, but you did know you did this because you had such a bad experience as a rookie. You're like, you know what, I'm gonna do the
No,
same
I
thing.
did know I did this. I know exactly what I was doing.
Perfect. See,
I was like,
take all the credit, Ryan. Why don't you take credit for your 5 Pro Bowls? Go
I
ahead.
was like, I'm not gonna do the same stuff that was done to me.
That's right.
There's a different way to do it.
There's
It
a
doesn't mean
different way
like
to do
it
it.
doesn't mean a guy can't sing a song or have to do all this stuff.
But back to my point, what he did was amazing, and it was fantastic, and more people should be like him. Maybe there's not other guys like him. My point.
I'll say, to be fair, probably the reason you didn't care was you came from Houston and you had like a bad taste in your mouth. You didn't care about linemen anymore.
we can.
bro.
That's
did
good.
you
That's
have
up.
a
You were like,
vendetta against
That
offensive
would be a
linemen?
great episode to bring all those
Like,
guys
yeah,
back.
he's like a war
his
veteran.
offensive line and
Yeah.
like hash that out.
Well, that's what I thought when you did this. I saw the V for Vendetta.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
what
You know
I've
when
had.
they
out
sat
for
when they
Because
sat,
I'd love to hear their point of view, where it's like you're
Exactly.
always talking
Can you
about how you
imagine?
ran for your life,
You
but
would-
I'd love to hear the version where they're like, maybe if you stayed in the pocket where you were supposed to,
Let's
you would.
fly them all in, and you know who else we need to have here?
Huh.
Chris Palmer, the
I would
offensive
like to be
coordinator.
there too,
I'd love
Okay.
to have Chris.
We'll get them
sit
all.
right
We'll
here.
get them all. You know when they
because
sat,
I can be a good moderator too in between,
Let's
and
Let's do
I
it.
can translate
We're
for
gonna do
you
it.
because
Let's
you
do
don't
it.
quite understand offensive line in a way that I think you should.
Mushrooms.
As a
I
quarterback,
get it.
I
I get it.
remember when they
Mushrooms.
sat Kobe and Shaq down to hash out the beef. We'll
I
sit you and
do.
your entire
Yeah,
offensive line down.
I think we need to do
Okay,
that.
I'm
and
done.
then on
I'm
the
in.
TV, we'll play the commercial where they took out your offensive line.
Oh yeah, that'd be great because then we could ask those clowns why they thought I filmed that commercial.
Do you know about this,
ESPN
Ryan?
runs this commercial, okay, where they go, "What does your team need?" And it shows me walk up to the line of scrimmage, put my hand in the center, and they take out the offensive line. I'm in a game. The other team's on the other side of
They
the
like
field.
CGI'd out the
They
offensive
CGI'd out
line.
the offensive line. I get back to the place Monday, and they're like, "Why would you film that?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? Why would I film that? I don't even know what happened." They're like, "There's a commercial on ESPN where you're out there with no offensive line." I'm like, "You think I filmed that? You do not recognize the game that we were in." Like,
Did you
guys,
Did you?
this is
as
the problem.
A player
Wait,
in the
hold on,
NFL
hold
have
on.
the
No,
this is
wait,
the problem.
Hold on, I'm gonna play defensive
Go
attorney
ahead.
for your guys.
What would
here.
you have said if you saw that? Would you have said, "Oh, great job, CGI, ESPN"?
Well, that's assuming the
Appropriate.
story is true
Okay.
and that you went out onto a field where there was an O-line and then they just CGI'd them out. Like they just used ILM to come in
Yes,
and
thank
take
you.
your whole
I don't know what that is.
offensive line
I
out.
don't know what that is, but yes, that's what they use.
It's Lucasfilm's
Thank you. You
industrial
don't think
light
ESPN
magic.
has the ability to do that? I've
Like-
seen their ESPN zone at
like
Disney.
how-
No, they don't have the ability to do that.
Are you kidding me?
Have
Of
you
course.
seen these
No,
commercials that
this
they
is
make?
why.
These are like lo-fi. They're great commercials.
No,
but these are lo-fi
That's
commercials.
true. So okay, that's great. And that's now the meeting has to
So
happen.
you're telling me they tricked you, they brought an O-line out, they CGI'd him out, and then you came in and told your line like, I don't know what happened. I just
Exactly.
showed
No,
up.
see, this is why he can't be the moderator because he clearly cannot be
No, you're
an
saying
unbiased.
you're saying it was real in-game footage, and they took
That's
your offensive line
what it
out.
was, Austin. It was real in-game footage. Literally had the score in the bottom from an ESPN
This
game.
was a commercial for.
Literally,
ESPN
pull it up,
for
Tyler.
what?
Pull
it
the
up.
pull up
Tyler,
the commercial.
I want to see this.
Pull up the commercial.
What was this a
ESPN sack commercial. Right. What does your team need?
Because this was probably during the time period where the majority of ESPN commercials were like
I'm with you.
skits
Noah.
in an office.
I understand what he
building.
tried to do.
Yeah,
Like, he
that's
tried
fine.
to
I'm not
show
saying, but
that
most
there's
of
no
them
way.
look like they have a $500 budget.
But that
Yeah,
was the
so that-
brilliance of ESPN. That's why they're the worldwide leader in
What
sports.
probably happened was it was one of those ESPN.
Are you allowed to say that? Being
I-
part of
that's
NFL
their
Network?
tag.
I don't think you're allowed to.
That's their tag. We don't do sports.
you get
we do
in-
football only.
Can't you get into
They
trouble
suck at
saying that?
football.
The
We are the
commercial
king
that
of
actually
football.
happened is probably one of those where you're just in the office building and the Toro mascot lays you out or something. That's more of an ESPN.
I understand
Style
why
commercial
why
back
you're
then.
trying to side with him now and saying that they didn't
Well,
have
how
the
didn't shoot
abilities.
any part of that commercial?
Oh, you had to
Was
think
I
about
playing
it.
the game? Yes.
No, I get that
But with
part.
my
but
team,
But you did
was
not go
was
out
there
of your way
any
to do
additional
none.
footage?
It literally just says, it just shows the picture from the sideline, right? No offensive line, and it says, "What does your team need?" NFL Draft 2003. It was the year after
How
I
would
got
Ryan
sacked.
have felt if they did like if Cam came in and Ryan saw a commercial where the all line's gone? It's just
I
Cam
understand how
standing
he would feel, but I was a little taken aback, as they say, that they thought that I filmed the commercial. I would not do that to them, right? Why would I do that to them?
Well, we'll see. I want to look at it. My
All right,
trained
perfect.
eye will be able to tell.
Okay,
whether
there. If
perfect.
we can find
Perfect.
it, we'll show everyone after.
Okay, all right,
Ty's
perfect.
use-
Ty's Google it.
We'll do it. We'll do it later, Ty. Just
Don't worry about
Just
it, Ty.
keep checking.
Yeah.
Ty, just
T
trust your
Ziggy
dad.
or whatever your name
Trust
is.
your dad.
What is it?
Swaggy T.
Swaggy T.
Swaggy T.
I remember.
I like T Ziggy better.
I do too.
teasing is really good.
I do too. I appreciate that.
On
Let's
other episodes of the podcast, we've talked a lot about David's journey to the Super Bowl that year that they won the Super Bowl. The year that Carr.
Thanks for rubbing that in.
I didn't
appreciate that. But go ahead.
The word one felt targeted
Let's
there,
talk.
but-
Let's talk about the sanctions on SC again. That was a fun.
Listen,
My grandmother died too. Are we going to get into that next?
This was going somewhere good. Can you talk a little bit about that season, just the whole journey along, what it was like to journey from the start of the season to making it to the Super Bowl?
What point do you realize this is probably the team that's getting there?
Yeah, like, we could.
I don't know. We went on a good run there.
You guys were doing all that stuff on the sideline. That's when you felt it.
We got to 10 wins. I think we were 10-0, and I was like, "Oh, this is a special team."
Yeah.
But they were still we still weren't getting the credit. I think when we got to like 10, 11 wins, everybody started like really micro-analyzing who we played and how we beat them, and like it was just they wouldn't give it to us until we went on that run in the playoffs, and then they started sort of crowning us. But I think just a lot of things went right. Funny enough, Kelvin Benjamin went down in training camp, so our number one receiver was out, and we had a lot of young guys, and we had a few older guys, and then we had a couple journeymen in between. A lot of people were calling them the no name group, the wide receivers, but they were well coached, and Cam was giving everybody the ball.
Yeah.
So I think it was hard to game plan us because he was really literally just spreading the love around. Because
it wasn't
he was
like
giving
there was
guys,
just one guy. That was
and he did a good job. He went back to guys like to give him credit. I mean that offensive scheme was just really tough. And then all of a sudden we were introducing the run option. Mm-hmm. We could also run block well. Like we had Jonathan Stewart and
you run quarterback power. Like he would literally.
You're running QB power. I mean, I was like watching him run over defensive guys.
Crazy.
Like I was watching DBs and linebackers cower.
Yeah.
When he was like trying to, I mean,
he's massive.
It was unbelievable. I mean, the guy is like, he looks like a defensive end.
Well, it's like when you see an offense like that, and like you guys were super explosive throwing the football, but just that ability to have the quarterback, like we talked about earlier, it levels the playing field in the run game. And then he was so physical at the same time. It's like handing the ball to Derrick Henry, right? But he can also throw it over your head. So it's like this is going to translate. Like they got to like I think you said like 10 wins, but even before like 6, 7, I'm like I don't know how you beat him.
I don't remember. I
him.
think we got to 12 wins before we lost our first game, and it was a close game at Atlanta. We lost to Atlanta.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean he was playing on a different level, and we had a ton of really great pieces around him. Our offense line was good. And yeah, I mean, when he was keeping the ball, it was just unbelievable. Or when plays broke down, we didn't always play great up front. Yeah. When they broke down, he extended to these huge. So they had to pick their poison with us. Mm-hmm. And when they came up in the box and they wanted to stop him running, he aired it out in a way that they forced him to win it in the air, and he did.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch. I mean, He was both playing with guys physically and mentally. He was like in their dome, calling DBs and stuff babies after he just embarrassed them.
He won the MVP that year, right?
Yeah, he won the MVP that year.
Yeah, well deserved.
And then we got in that Super Bowl, and we were just off. We were off by a hair, and we were still playing well. I mean, our defense was shutting Peyton down all day, and offensively we just couldn't get in a rhythm. And he got hit early. We said we didn't want to do that. We didn't do a good job of protecting him, keeping him clean early.
Well, you were facing two pretty good pass rushers.
We were. No, they were good. But we also faced some good pass rushers before. We had a game plan that we missed. We weren't on the same page with how we were going to...
Were you guys trying to chip or something? I can't remember specifically.
Yeah, I mean, we played Houston earlier that year. Mm-hmm. JJ was a pretty impressive player that we had some things in place that really...
Slowed him down.
And I think it was a combination of...
It's hard because it's always a combination with those good pass rushers. And like if one thing is off, I mean, we used to chip a lot. We played the Colts a lot, and it was Dwight Freeney, and we would have like, okay, set inside, back's going to chip, but then what happens? Okay, now the back is late, or his backer comes, he can't be there, and have the tight end, the tackle's setting inside, now Dwight's free rusher, and it's like, one little thing goes wrong, it's like it looks like someone majorly screwed up, but it's like, man, it's hard to contain those guys. You know, that can rush off the edge like
Yeah,
that.
but we would. It wouldn't always just be a running back chip. Like we had a variety of stuff we would do. You know, like in the game versus Watt, we'd motion in a Y, we'd motion in slot guy, we'd have the running back chip them. We'd have a tackle overset them. We'd do all kinds of stuff that just kept them guessing.
Yeah, for sure.
So it wasn't always like, oh, here comes the back, here comes the back.
Yeah.
And we did a really good job of that. And in the Super Bowl, we didn't.
Oh yeah.
And I think guys were really antsy to get out. It was the Super Bowl.
Sure.
They were so eager to kind of be
It's
a
hard,
check down or to be, so.
Yeah.
And we had that one play where that happened. And, Mike Remmers gets a lot of blame for that, but he really played great all season long in that game, especially.
Tackle, it's fine. Yeah.
And it was that one play that really we just couldn't get in a rhythm.
Yeah.
And then we just, there was a couple calls that didn't go our way. We started getting a rhythm. We scored. And then we started moving the ball, but then we fumbled. We started moving the ball, and then we fumbled. So it just wasn't our day. And even with all that, the defense still kept us in it.
Yeah. That was a good game.
It's
Don't worry, Derek.
it's a tough
Derek
one.
knows a lot about Von Miller, so do I. He did that to a lot of people. He watched the Super Bowl this last year.
He's still doing it.
Look
at
at
him.
I know.
He just got a Super Bowl.
Now he's going to go to Buffalo for another 5 years
Yeah,
and
that's
do
a
it.
nice team.
Oh, my goodness.
Was there
it's
any
crazy.
like nerves going in when you realize you're like my team's about to play Peyton Manning in the Super Bowl? Like, is that just like this is wild? I'm playing a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but I went to USC. I don't know if I
Doesn't care. See, it always comes back to this stupid victory Trojan
We were
thing.
in a lot of championship
Lots
games.
of big games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's super nerve-wracking. I mean, the whole process is really and everybody tries to warn you. I remember I called him too, and I called everybody I knew who'd played in a Super Bowl and just was trying to figure out what I could do, what my team could do. I wanted to win that thing so bad, and everybody said the same thing. They said it's just a marathon. It's an emotional marathon. Try to enjoy it, but not get so caught up in everything that you don't rest, that you don't stay focused, because it's so easy to get distracted. The media days, the getting out of your routine. You home or away during the season, playoffs, you practice at your facility. And the Super Bowl, you're at we're at a neutral site, and the Broncos got to work out at Stanford, which was nice. And we were at San Jose, and nothing against San Jose, but
You can say whatever you want negative against San Jose. Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah,
San Jose State Spartans are pretty terrible, and their facilities are terrible. And, everything's bad.
They're not terrible. They're just they weren't.
No, you said it. It's fine. You can say it.
They weren't up to par.
Yeah, they weren't as nice as Stanford's.
I'm just
or Fresno's.
I'm a little bit bougier of a player than you are.
Clearly.
I need some high end stuff.
Clearly.
So yeah, that's the nature of it. And it's funny, I've had other buddies call me who've gone to Super Bowls after me, and I try to say the same thing, and they call me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
It's
happens.
just such a different experience.
So yeah, I mean, that's it. I don't know what else to say. We lost, and I watched everybody celebrate as confetti came down. It sucks.
So
it's not fun.
Anything else negative you want to bring up and just ruin my man's night? So,
Well, I wanted to ask you because I was getting flamed on like YouTube and TikTok a couple days ago. Okay, but so I wanted to ask you. It's a two-part.
I don't know what that means. You were getting flamed?
I was getting roasted, right? I was
Okay,
getting
yeah.
do you understand roasted?
I do
Roasted?
now, yeah.
I barely do.
It's a two-part question. I want to ask who's like the biggest or who is the hardest to block, right? Like, who's the
No.
biggest
Tell
name?
it what you actually
first,
said.
First
I'll say what happened to
explain
me,
your take.
because I said I think for 1 full second I could block Aaron Donald just because I'd be in the way and he would have to step over me.
You know how long a full second is?
And people said that there's no way.
There's no chance
Say-
that ever
say-
happened.
So you don't think just my body being in the way would
No.
cause a second to go
One
by?
Mississippi right now.
One Mississippi.
You see how long that was?
I got him. I've learned, dude.
But that's if he goes through you.
That's facts.
Oh yeah, so he's
So,
just gonna go around.
I mean,
you.
he could slip you in a way that it would be like magic. You would be like
Like in
it
the-
would feel
yeah.
like it would feel like he teleported.
In the video,
Like, that's what it would feel like.
in the video, I said, put me at like center, so he would have to come like it'd have to be my way. It'd just be me and him.
Wait,
Yeah,
are you
well,
saying
you're
the
rotating
center-
the position now. What are you
Listen,
saying?
let me explain
He's saying-
something.
he's saying-
Let me explain
hold on, what he
something.
basically
Hold on.
said, what he basically
I know
said
what
was
he
your
said.
5 Pro Bowls are null and void
Hold
because
on.
you had 2 guards
Let me
next to you.
explain something to you. Let me explain something to you. I watched the Super Bowl with a friend who made a very dumb comment that he said
Similar
Aaron
to
Donald's overrated.
Oh no!
This guy, every game, is getting double and triple teamed. They're chipping him. They're double teaming him. They're sliding towards him. They're doing everything they can. There's a clip of him out there bull rushing one guy, bull rushing another, running over a running back, and still getting to the quarterback. Like, this guy's a freak.
And yet you
Like,
sit
he's a
here
monster.
on your high horse
And
next
you
to
think
John
you're gonna
Wayne.
Like, how long do you think these plays last?
I was like,
I'd be curious to know how long it took him to get the game-winning sack fumble.
Oh, yeah.
facts.
On Joe. Yeah,
on
Burrow.
Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, to be
What
fair,
was that time?
They do say the average play is like 3 seconds.
But how
So,
long
like,
was
yeah,
that? He was around that guard in like 2 seconds, maybe max.
That's
before
I
he
was
hit
just,
Joe.
I was
I
just
think
shocked.
I saw it on the TV. I think it was like 2.3 or like 2.4. I think I remember seeing it.
So you think that you can...
Because like what people were saying, what he was saying, he was like,
Okay, so then yes, for 1 second you could be standing there, I guess. I
that's
don't
what
know.
people
Like,
say. Like your body wouldn't even matter to him. Like it would just be nothing if you just walk through me.
It would just be like a cone, like an obstacle.
that's what I
at the end
mean.
of
Like, if it takes him 2 seconds with nobody there to get from his position to the quarterback,
Yeah.
if you're there, that's how long it will take him to get from his position to the quarterback. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what you're
No,
arguing.
actually, you gave him like 5/100ths of a delay, right? I think I remember on the podcast.
I said the difference between him standing there trying to block him and literally nobody being there would be like 1/20th of a second.
Yeah. Okay. So, but Ryan's saying no 20th of a second. You've eliminated all.
I think your
slowing
best,
down ability.
Your best shot is if it's shotgun, the quarterback gets it immediately.
Well,
runs
unless
backwards.
Ryan's snapping.
Then he gets there fast.
Then he gets there fast,
and
we
Cam
go
catches
back,
it,
and
and he turns it into a 60-yard run.
The superhuman ability that I did
That
not
has
possess.
happened, by the way.
I-
where
Really?
he, Jake's also said this to me too. Where my snap was so high that it took his eyes off the field, and
So you didn't learn anything from me.
I did.
I just took credit for all
Well,
your Pro
you can't,
Bowls.
yeah, you can't say
And
that
yet-
you learned nothing
and then-
and take credit for
Well,
his
you could
career.
still have a bad play.
Okay.
I
So it was a one-off, twice.
Yeah,
One
it,
to Jake,
was
one
very
to Cam.
rare, but when it happened.
Okay.
But what the point I'm making is that my mistakes actually ended up being great plays.
Oh, I see. I
Because
got you. That
Cam
makes
said
sense.
one
Yeah.
time, took his eyes off the field, and then he lost everybody, and he just ran for like 60 yards. And
You're
then
like, "You're
Jake,
welcome. You're
we
welcome."
beat the Chargers.
Similarly.
Yeah, Jake threw a post to the tight end, and he wasn't going to the tight end, but he said my ball took his eyes off the field as the first guy he saw, and then it the game.
Panther. Touchdown. I love that, actually. That's great. Well,
Yeah, but what were we talking about before that? I was going to say your best bet would to not be in there because I think he would get to the quarterback faster because he would use you as an extension of his body
just
to
throw Austin
throw
out.
him into
see,
the
that's
quarterback.
what I was gonna.
No,
I was
that's
gonna
good.
bring
What
up
the
to you is you
scariest-
would have to do something like that he didn't expect. You'd have to like drop down on all fours
That's what's-
instantly.
Or
on
he'd
the
be
snap.
so offended
I
by
was
you even
saying-
trying to block
I
him
was
that he'd have more
saying the only
motivation.
way I could do it is if as soon as it snapped, I fall to the floor, so he has to take a second step over.
That
That
yeah,
might be
exactly.
good.
But
I don't think
to
that's- I don't
Ryan's
think that- I
point,
don't think that's a second. That's
no, but to Ryan's point, you could injure your quarterback by being on the field because he would throw. That's how quarterbacks
scared-
hurt. Guys get thrown into him.
How
Right?
scared am I?
I've seen many quarterbacks break their thumbs.
Yeah, because
they're
you're
trying to throw. and
Imagine
guys,
you
like,
flying at the
getting
quarterback
flung.
and they're just
How
like.
scared would my quarterback be if the play snapped and he looks over and I'm getting carried?
It wouldn't even be
Well,
at the
ask him.
play snap.
According to him, like none of his guys ever blocked anybody.
Well, they were
It was
there.
just
They
him-
actually weren't there.
It was just
apparently.
him
Yeah,
running around.
making magic
It
happen
snapped and
for
then
6 wins a year.
By the
You're
time
welcome.
you blink, I'm getting
Houston.
suitcase carried by Aaron Donald.
You act like I wouldn't be concerned up until the point when we were about to snap the ball with you as my guard. That's what or center, whoever you would be. It would be way before that, but it's okay.
No, I think you would have the utmost confidence in me before the ball is snapped.
I'd have a lot of confidence
there'd
in
be a
you,
second
like
in the back
as
of
a
your head.
moral support on the
There'd be
sideline.
a second in the back of his head where he'd go, he might do it.
There's-
not he might be. What if he does?
I know you'd give your best effort, but that's not enough in the NFL, especially against Aaron, as we know.
Well, we were talking. It was random. We were talking a couple days ago. I think probably on the podcast we were talking like, when's the last time you full speed sprinted? And I was like, I haven't full speed.
Me
in a minute.
personally, it's
I
been
think
a
if I
minute.
tried to turn on a dime, my knees would explode because I haven't been full
You're
speed.
21 years old and your
Imagine
knees
full-
would explode.
When's the last time I ran full speed in
I don't
cut
know.
on a dime?
America's
the
youth.
generation.
I don't know.
This
What
is
about
the
you,
generation
Cooper? Could
now.
you sprint?
The last time he sprinted was when we were on the beach.
But
That was
what did he do?
He was gone.
I ran a 4 flat.
He
probably.
is the fastest human land mammal that you've ever seen.
When
On
he
the sand,
needs- when he needs to be fast.
no shoes.
His
Yeah.
motivation was
Feel his
that.
glutes. Go ahead. Let
Racing
Ryan
that-
feel your.
I'm not gonna stand.
Let Ryan feel your
my
glutes.
glutes, bro. He's cheesing too.
I'm just saying, they're pretty. It's like that, bro. It's kind of crazy.
It's really
Yeah.
good.
So, getting back on track, you talked earlier about Von Miller, also J.J. Watt. Who, throughout your career, were the guys that you most heading into a matchup? It's like,
Halote Nada.
what was that?
Halote Nada.
He's the size of your refrigerator.
He's the biggest man. And I had to deal with him in college too.
Oh yeah. Where did he go? Washington,
No, Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, Oregon. I knew it was up there. Up
Oregon.
there. Up there.
That
with
was
big,
the
big.
One player I
headed
can
into the
reference.
weaker
Who's
setting
he
the
like?
game
Like
plan.
Haloti Nada is like who's the guy now? That Vita
I
Vea.
was a Vita Vea. Is
Yeah.
he like a Vita Vea
I
type of
think
guy?
he's bigger than
You
him.
think he is? Yeah.
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 He's like a
Halote's-
Vince Wilfork type of guy. Like he's that massive.
No, but he was more.
He's
He was
taller too.
yeah.
And he's longer arms than
Yeah.
Vince. Vince was tougher because he was lower and wider, and Vince had incredible leg strength.
Yeah.
But Halote was just like he's just a mammoth.
What are you trying to do when you're blocking him? You're just trying to get in position,
No, you try to
tickle him.
no,
What?
no.
I'm just asking, like, what do you do,
He
man?
doesn't know. He doesn't
No,
know what
listen. If that would have worked, I would have tried that. Trust me. No, with guys like him,
Yeah.
you do what we call lose slowly.
Oh yeah. See, you could have done that.
That's clean.
Yeah.
You got to lose slowly with him.
So you're just like, okay, we get in position. He's probably gonna run me over, but just I don't want to hit the back.
You just have to get in between him and the running back and
Yeah.
let the running back do the
Yeah,
you're not
yeah.
moving him off the
Yeah.
ball. Even a double team, like he just, and that's his job. That's why he played as long as he did.
Yeah,
and
right.
He would eat up 2 gaps.
Now, what are they trying to do there? Are they trying to gain position, or are they just trying to hold position?
Who?
His job, like as that 2 gap.
His
guy.
job is to eat up 2 gaps. His job is to not get moved one way or another.
Got it. So like
So
2
they-
guys gonna double
So
team
like
him,
if
I'm
it's
not
some
moving.
if it's some kind of zone run, his job is to not play behind and not play
Yeah,
in front.
got it.
Like he's got to mirror that guy
Stay right there.
and be able to feel the gap. If the
Uh-huh.
gap's opening up, he has to slow me down.
Oh, I
if the
see,
gap feels like it's slowing down here, he's got to speed
I
me
gotcha.
up
Yeah.
to the front side gap.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I like how he's in control of the whole thing.
he is.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to be that big and to be like literally. I mean, Ryan's not the 300-pound.
It's funny. Like when early in my career when I played him, I tried to muscle him, and it's hard, and you could do it.
Wear
It just
yourself
takes
out.
everything out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as I got older, it's using your technique and your understanding of the scheme to try to play mind games with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I know, if I know say it's an inside zone, and I know probably it's going to come backside A gap. You want to make him think we're running it way outside, so you try to jump him quick
gotcha.
and get him to start running, and then you try to take his
And
momentum,
let him take himself
and then
there.
vice versa.
It's like when we were swimming in the water in Mexico, and it's like, hey man, just let the wave take you. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Haloti
not
Nada
like
is
that
like
at
the
all.
ocean.
It's nothing like that analogy at all. That's a
Blocking a
terrible
massive
I
analogy.
human
just
is
thought
like
about that.
swimming
I was like, it's like it's like
No.
trying to fight the ocean. It's like, why even fight it? Just let it go where it wants to
Gosh,
go.
That was a terrible analogy. I just
No, it's actually really
No,
good.
it's
Think
not.
about it, because you can't move Haloti Nada, and you can't
now
move
I want to
ocean
track
waves.
down your O line because I need to find
No,
out
I
the
think that
real
we'll have that
story
moment.
about what happened here.
We'll have that moment. But
This
you're
is-
definitely not going to be the
So,
moderator.
were you?
Did you find it?
Well, no, I can find the video. It says he's 6'4", 300.
Oh, you don't care about my video. Okay.
He's maybe. I think he.
Did you
In
say
my
6'4"
in my
what?
imagination, the way I
It
remembered
says-
him
It's
is
like
he's 6'9", 400.
It's like when they
It says
say
6'4", 300. 330.
It's like when they say
He's not 330.
That's what it
no,
says.
it's like
way.
when they say
That's
Kevin Durant's
Wikipedia.
6'9". We all know he's like 7'2".
Oh,
You
you're
know
right.
what I'm saying? It's one of
Yeah.
those things.
Were you in Houston telling your offensive linemen, guys, it's like swimming in the ocean in Mexico?
Guys, just let them go where they want to go, and I'll just step up. Literally, our best play was me scrambling. That's what it came down to. Like I was like, look, if you're not gonna block him,
What'd you say a couple days ago? You would call up in the huddle and it would say something by time. That's the greatest play.
that's my coach would tell me just buy time. I'm like, what kind of time are we talking about? I don't have a lot back here. So really, I would just tell my right tackle, I'm like, look, here's what's gonna happen. Just jump outside, right? If I know they're only rushing 4, I know, just jump outside this guy way bad. He won't even know like that you had a bad. He'll just think that that's what you naturally. He'll come inside and I'll just scoot out and we'll make a play on the outside. Screw the play. And that was like I threw like 5 or 6 touchdowns with Corey Bradford doing that exact same thing. That's all we did. He would run a fade and he would just like get open in the back of the end zone. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. Sorry, Jeff Fisher. That was our play. Like
Ryan,
that was
real
it.
quick before I think we're wrapping up, but he told me he threw a pass so bad to Andre Johnson. He got he got intentional
you said to
grounding.
me, he comes to me, my own son in my house. I haven't seen him in a couple weeks. He's been hanging out with this guy. He comes to me in the house and he goes, Dad, when did you throw? What was your worst pass ever, and why was it called intentional grounding when you were trying to throw it to a receiver? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then he runs off and he tells like 9 people in the room the same thing. And I'm like,
But tell him the story.
I go, actually, yeah, I did have an intentional grounding called on me when I was trying to complete a pass. But Andre was a young receiver. Why do I always get the young all-pros, by the way? As a rookie, I get you, can't snap. I get Andre,
If we made a
can't run
super
routes.
team based on your young all pros, it would be the Hall of Fame team.
Hall of Fame. I'd be fine. I'd still be playing probably.
Who was your center in Houston?
Steve McKinney. He's a brilliant young man from Texas A&M Aggies. It's a great school, by the way.
Oh, he was good. You liked
He
him?
was actually really good. His snaps were perfect.
Tell the story real quick.
Anyway.
About Andre Johnson.
He took me hunting. Have you taken me hunting? I'm just asking you. You don't even hunt. Have you hunted? Have you hunted?
Yes.
What did you hunt?
Tell the story.
All right. So anyway, while he thinks about the fictional animal that he killed. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. So anyway, you know how this works. You're running out, and my brilliant offensive coordinator, Chris Palmer, right? He was like, you know what? I'm gonna have this young receiver run as fast as he can, and he's gonna decide if he's gonna run it out at 12 yards or if he's gonna go deep. All right. And we're playing against Champ Bailey. Okay. Champ Bailey's a pretty decent corner, right?
Yeah.
Pretty decent, right? So what am I gonna do?
You're aging yourself now.
What I'm
But
gonna
go
do,
ahead.
what I'm gonna do is not throw it anywhere near Champ Bailey. That's my only plan. The plan isn't to win the game. The plan isn't even to complete this pass. The plan is to not throw it to Champ Bailey, right? So I drop back and I'm like, Champ Bailey is kind of bailing. He's got his hips turned inside. It's cover 3. I know as a quarterback, he's bailing. It's hard to get inside. He doesn't want to get beat over the top. We throw it to the sideline. I throw it to the sideline. It sails out of bounds, and Andre's running down the field, right? It's a rookie mistake. It happens. It's a dumb play call. Honestly, it's just not a smart play, right? You just shouldn't run it. No one runs it right now. Okay. You shouldn't do it. Andres jogs back. I'm like, oh, man, that sucks. There's a penalty flag laying at my feet. I'm like, what is this? A penalty flag? And I turn to the ref, and he's like, you know how they give you the look when you want to talk to them, but the penalty was on you, so they don't look at you and they run right past you to their buddy.
There's no debating it.
You're not talking to me right now, right? And I'm like, dude, I was throwing it to my receiver. There's no one around me. The one time that year, there was no one around me, right? It was totally, and they're like, intentional grounding, number 8. I'm like, are you kidding me? I literally threw it out of bounds. I was trying to throw it to my receivers, no pressure. Like, that's not intentional grounding. What am I, just terrified? I don't understand. Like, what are you telling me? It was still early. I had not been sacked that many times yet. So early in the season, there was still hope. I was like, maybe it'll be better this year. That was it. That was my terrible play. Did you just Google it or something?
No,
Did
it
you
was
find
so
it?
funny. I just thought about it. For some reason, I was like, this is the
Yeah, we
funniest
brought it
joke
up
ever.
in front of everybody.
Wait, so do you take responsibility at all for anything in your career? Or is it just
You mean all the
always
wins?
everybody
All the
else?
wins. Sometimes you lose games as a team.
Because it's always your O-line's fault,
I
but
don't
I don't
know.
know what they have to do with you being scared of Champ Bailey. and then it's like bad play calling.
It was
and
not.
the refs are screwed.
How good of a play call would you say that was on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm just saying, it's just like a lot of like it's everybody else's
Have you ever
fault.
ran a play like that?
I'm
Have you
just
ever
saying.
seen a play like that called? Hey, Cam, what I want you to do is Greg Olson's going to run down here. At 15 yards, he's going to be running full speed. He's going to decide whether he's going to stop or run past the safety. Go.
I don't know. I protect my teammates anyways. I can't say the same for you. You obviously hated your offensive line.
I told you the protection was great.
We're going to see. We're going to get to the bottom of this. I'm really excited about this
I don't know what he's
episode.
trying to do. He's trying to drive a wedge between us. But the fact that you took me deer hunting on your property with caged-in deer and they couldn't escape.
I'm going to use social media and reach out.
And there was one sitting on your front porch when we showed up, and you said to me, "You can shoot it if you want to," and I said, "I'm not going to shoot that one."
Hey, in your edit, can you use that camera for that him delivering that line just so he looks? He really wants it to be that camera, but
He's looking at this camera
Don't
one
you
time.
dare!
and there's one
Don't
behind
you
it.
dare do it. When are we going to be in a movie? I mean, I've asked you for like 10 years, and I'm still not in one.
yeah. Do you want to pitch me one?
I have a lot.
Cast a movie about the 2002 Texans and make him the bad guy that's responsible for everything.
That's fine. I'll do
Oh,
it.
just like the new one about what's his name?
Oh, where it was all my fault? That's brilliant, Noah. We should
Like the
do
new
that.
one about Kurt Warner, like that one. We make
But the opposite.
Underdog.
But the-
yeah,
But we never won the Super Bowl.
Overcat or something.
Overcat. That's pretty good.
Who we casting for him?
I don't want to be.
Who
in your
plays
movie.
him?
I don't want to.
Oh, like a.
Wait, hold on. I want to see what he says because this is very
This is
telling.
important.
It says a lot about how he sees
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Think about this.
Probably Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Or The Rock.
The Rock has
You have,
David
to, you
Carr.
have to gain some weight. You know, there's an
Johnny
actor.
Depp?
Yeah, I can't. Well, he's a little quirky. He could straighten up a little bit. He's a little
What do
too
you mean?
piratey. He's a little too piratey.
He's not always a pirate, bro.
That's all I've seen of
He's
him.
not
He's
actually
done 8
gangster,
pirate
though.
movies. He's probably gonna do
Plus,
3.
both of you have
3
Native
more.
American blood in you.
Johnny Depp then.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp is David Carr
Actually-
and Overcat.
That title's gonna stick to
Oh,
something.
yeah.
I'm gonna need a T-shirt for Overcat.
What?
That's a podcast.
I was thinking there was another guy that I think that would. I get confused for him a lot, but I don't. He's not really.
Who? Oh God, what's his name? Brad. Pitt.
No, it's not like that. He's not a well known. You would know him though. You would know him because you're in the TV thing. I'll figure it
I
out.
don't
We'll
know.
put it right here. I'll tell Noah and he'll
Make
put
it,
it
do this with your hands. Or something.
here. Just this is the guy.
See, he used
Right
that
here.
camera, get it up and use this one.
I get confused for him all the time. It's
Really?
so weird. Use this camera or this one.
Oh, you get confused for.
I get
That's what
confused
you-
for this guy all the time. I don't understand.
Oh, and we go like, oh, I know who this is.
Is it?
And we bleep it in. That's it.
Oh yeah, I know who it is. It's
I've seen him in that one movie. The movie's called.
yeah.
Sonic
That's
2.
Yeah.
Oh, is it him?
No,
Jim Carrey.
I don't know. Maybe. Look up the cast. If he gets this right, that'd
He might be a
crazy.
genius because I know what actor he's talking about, and I think he
I
might
think-
be right.
This could be wild if he gets this right.
Or he's gonna flame me right now. Show you
No, I'm not.
Just show him the
He's gonna show you
CGI
James
Sonic.
Marsden.
Yes. Yes. How did
This
you know
guy-
that? How did you know that? How did he know that?
That's for sure.
That's who would play.
That's good.
People ask me when I'm in LA all the time. James Marsden? I'm like, what? Who is that? And they're like, you're not James. I'm like, no, I'm not James. Of course, now I'm saying like I know his name, like I hear it all the time. I know it because of him. Yeah, so that's him. So
Alright.
get him to play me in Undercat.
All right. See what I can do.
Or whatever it's called.
I'll see what I can do.
Well, thank you so much, both of you, for being on. Ty, for coming back. It was a
Coop.
was a great
Yeah.
Go
one.
Park,
Coop.
bro.
I'm holding this down.
T
Yeah.
Swagger
Yep.
and
Now, usually what we do to end it is we have the guests kiss each other. That's usually what we do.
You know?
I have no problem kissing. Who are you talking to? I love this man.
You see, as soon as I said
It's
that,
like a brother to me.
As soon as I said that, he looked at you and started smiling ear to ear.
If you had one thing that you could say to Darren Carr right there in that camera, what would you say?
So you want to try to drive the
I
wedge
have
between me
I
and
have a
him.
beard and you have a beard. Let's hug. You know, I go to this guy's bathroom and there's a beard hierarchy. Like if you have a certain facial hair, you're not as powerful as maybe another man urinating in the same bucket.
It probably doesn't get said enough, but Darren does have the best arm between you and Derek.
That's fine. That's the same thing my dad said until they realized his ankles were too fat.
Wow, I've seen it.
Put your ankles up
I've
here.
seen it
Put
live.
your ankles up here. I'll tell you if you're a lineman or a quarterback.
My ankles are great.
Lineman. That's what my dad did to my brother.
No,
My brother came home. Darren came home, and I'm probably in 6th grade. Darren's probably in 3rd grade, and he was like, "Dad, I was playing quarterback at on the playground today, and I threw like 3 touchdown passes." My dad goes, "Put your ankle on the table." And Darren's all, he's all, "Look how fat your ankle is. You're not a quarterback." Darren put his ankle back down, and then I saw his whole body change. And from then on, he was angry. He gained weight.
It's his Joker arc.
He started throwing like G.I. Joes at me. Like he threw Sergeant Slaughter at me one time, like with intentions.
This is why we're having Darren on like in a couple weeks, so he can tell his
Darren
side
is
story.
still pissed at you guys because you still haven't had him on. And this is episode what? 31?
31.
I got on an episode before Darren.
Yes.
We
That's
wanted
messed
to, we
up.
wanted to build
Yes.
up an audience.
That's
for him
messed
before
up.
he
Yeah,
comes
for
on.
Darren. Exactly. And then Papa Carr. That'll be the wild
We need
one.
to have Papa Frank and
So
Papa
you
Carr on the
stood
same
by
day.
while all that abuse happened
Look,
to him? Weird. That must be your MO.
When I came on the first,
That's your
when
thing.
I came on the
That's kind of
first,
your
you see how he
thing.
tries to do this? What did I say before I came on the first episode? Who should be on with me?
It's a different.
Darren.
Oh, Darren, yeah.
Darren. Don't.
There we go.
He's done. We're gonna go get tacos.
It's food time.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
This is over with.